Editing Uber Farmer here. Just to let you guys know, this is part 2 of a video that played earlier this week. We're going to be talking about the student exchange program. If you want to hear more about a summer update, go back to part 1. If not, enjoy. Here we go.
Comes from crossing bridges.
Wouldn't you just call him a troll? Do you have to say
I'm not,
ex-Uber?
I'm not. He's not a troll yet. He's really close.
Because he's not an expatriate. It's not like he plans on coming back.
Well, that's true. I thought an expatriate is when they don't come back.
No, an expatriate is, yeah, you don't come back. You live somewhere else.
Yeah. Wouldn't he be an expatriate? An expatriate Uper?
Yeah, he'd be an expatriate.
I'm willing to call him an expatriate Uper. I like that term. I wasn't thinking that one. So, yeah,
yeah, even like somebody who's from Michigan who's living somewhere else is an expatriate.
Oh, I love it. Okay, expatriate Uper.
If they're living and working in another place.
Oh, I love it.
Because, like, you can live in a different country and you're an expatriate American.
Okay.
You don't give up your American citizenship, and it doesn't change that's your...
See, I think he gave up his Uper citizenship. I saw him buy a designer coffee, so...
You buy designer coffee?
I do not buy designer coffee, except for my non-Uper wife and my confused child.
So, anyhow.
So... that has reignited some conversation about getting an exchange student in the family. But thankfully for Uper Farmer here, homeschooling mama has not gotten the feeling. So I think I'm dodging the bullet so far, but there's still time.
We have until August, the end of August.
We probably have until September. Let's be honest here.
Right.
If we decided September 1st, there'd be plane tickets. There would be.
I would love to have another one, but Swedish Compass is the one that would want to share a room this time,
which is impressive.
And I don't think she's there because it's not. Her room is not ready to be adjusted for an exchange student.
She said though, it turnkey, be just like the turkeys. If you said.
No, and maybe that's true. Maybe if it was you have to do this now, she would. But I don't know. But regardless, we have a exchange student. She wants one.
Yeah.
And all the kids kind of want another exchange student to come, but we have not made that decision. It's kind of hard. But I actually haven't really been looking at them. But to be fair, I kind of take the approach that we weren't really looking before. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of on a whim that I saw his bio, and
I was definitely on a whim.
I was like, he needs to come here. So I'm kind of against like doing a lot of research and looking for it, you know, reading a ton of bios, because if it's meant to be, it's gonna pop up and we'll see it.
We did talk about our standards. So the first exchange, again, it was on a whim. It was just a feeling that homeschooling mama gets that I cannot disagree with. But the second round, we did talk about that because of our, what you call it, dedication, commitment. The student would have to be Catholic, and not just a Creaster Catholic, a little bit more on the serious side, just because we do so much with the church. And
it would be unfair to drag somebody.
It would be very unfair if we had. Could you imagine if we had like a Buddhist kid?
But if we couldn't take them to our church, it would almost be like they couldn't truly incorporate into our family, because there is like, we do so much at the church. It's CCD one night a week. It's I
Bible
teach a different
studies,
class another night, and we do every mass every week, plus Stations of the Cross all Lent, plus
a bunch of other things we get pulled
Vacation
into,
Bible
Vacation Bible School. We have camps and retreats, and
so we do almost everything we can with the church, and like if we couldn't invite a student to that, then it would be
difficult.
Would almost be like they're not participating in family life.
And I have to admit, they'd have to be a good English speaker. Like, I listened to some of the other exchange parents talk about when their student had a pretty significant language barrier, and it was causing strife and heartache and headache. And
well, I think it would depend on the language their native tongue. Like, okay, I don't speak Portuguese, but I remember enough Spanish that even if there was a problem, I could
Well,
at
even
least,
Walmart
like,
thought he
work.
should speak Spanish,
Right.
so
There's
it's-
enough
it's-
similarities in the language that I could kind of, like, we could figure things out if it was needed, but
Yeah.
it really wasn't.
If we had a Korean kid, I think we'd be pretty in trouble.
Yeah, Chinese maybe.
Chinese, maybe. But then the Chinese kid would definitely not be Catholic.
Yeah, because it's kind of outlawed there.
Yeah.
But so it would be tricky, to say the least.
Definitely tricky.
But our 906 contact, our ICES.
Our
contact,
ICS?
ICES,
Yes.
International Cultural Exchange Services. So our contact does occasionally send me some information
Drop
or
some
tag me.
information, some letters, actually.
Yeah, about
Which-
students, and I appreciate it because maybe she will like find the next student. I really did enjoy it.
I feel a little bad because we filled out an what do they call those when you leave a program, an exigent, exit interview, I guess, form. Survey. And I did put pretty much we'd be interested in anything, but then after I was done filling it out, I'm like, ooh, if I was actually serious about this,
Well, you can change your mind.
you can always change your mind. Yeah, that's perfect.
But I mean, it was an amazing experience, and I would like to do it again. And we're kind of at the point where we have to take 2 cars if we want to go as a family
We have
anyway.
to take 2 cars
So
anyway.
that is actually less of a deterrent now, because if we have to take 2 cars, what difference does it make?
Yep.
So there's that.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. In the cards, but let's just say not on the deck. It's
We haven't drawn the full house yet.
yeah. We definitely drew a full house. Let's just be honest. There. It's just
So that's kind of where we're at. I would enjoy it.
there's no wilds have been declared.
No wild card has been pulled
No
out.
wild card has been pulled out yet.
So, well, we'll see. Maybe not. Swedish Compass really does. She's really pushing.
She's
for
really
it.
pushing for it, and which I think would be good for her, just as it was good for Vashman. He really gained a lot of perspective by sharing his room, and my neighbor decided that 9 o'clock at night is the perfect time to run his lawnmower. Perfect.
But I don't think it was just Vashman that gained a lot of.
Oh, no. I'm not saying he wasn't the only one. I'm just saying that it was so odd for him to even be like, yeah. I've never shared a room in my life, so let's take someone who's my age.
Complete stranger from a different country.
Different country, doesn't really speak the
But he
language.
was so into it. Like,
Polar opposites, too.
yeah, super social. And Vashman is not super social.
super into sports, super social, super, like, liked video games, but at the same time, it was like, there was a
Definitely enjoyed them, but not to the same level, I think.
diminishing return. That's where he had a...
Well, and very different taste in video games.
Oh, yeah. That was
nothing
weird.
nothing like our kids like.
That's not entirely. I mean, maybe a couple of them did kind of like take a liking to his type.
I was
of
gonna
video
say, I think they
games, so.
expanded their horizons, but I don't think they definitely. It's not something they would have tried without.
Although I will admit, the fact that he has to go, she with the new exchange student has to go to our local school, I kind of feel that they're being disadvantaged because, when they're here, one of the big things they have to do is do an English class, and
That is the most substandard curriculum.
that was
I've
the
ever
most
seen.
substandard English curriculum. I wouldn't even have that be a...
Well, and okay, so in fairness, I have found or seen a few students that I'm like, ooh, that one might be a good match, but they have interests that we could not meet here. Like they want to be part of the band, or they want to
cheerleading.
do competition cheer, or they want to do different sports that just are not available here. And some of them are available 20 miles away, but they're not available here. And I would feel like they were missing out on an experience because I'm not going to commit to driving them.
It would be a sacrifice for us to...
Yeah, I'm not going to commit to taking them to the school 20 miles away, or even 10 miles away.
Yeah.
I don't think that's realistic or fair. when there's a school 3 miles. So
Is it even 3?
yeah, something like
It's
that.
like 3 out of 6. It might be
So
closer.
I feel like that, like, so I have found a few that I'm like, oh, that would be a good match, but I wouldn't want them to come here and miss out on things that they desperately want to do.
Yeah.
And then the other one that we thought would be a good match had the same name. That would be too confusing.
I don't remember that one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, had my name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that profile.
I read the description to you, and I didn't tell you the name because I knew what you would say. And you're like, oh, that one sounds good. And then I said her name, and you're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, not so much.
That would get a little too confusing.
That might get a little confusing.
So,
Well, you didn't get the feeling, so.
no, I didn't. I think it'd be fun, but I didn't get the, okay, this is a good one.
Now, for a hot second, there was the one who. What was the diet called they were on?
Oh,
What was that called?
pescatarian.
Pescatarian. I've never heard of that. I know some Presbyterians growing up.
Pescatarian diet.
But pescatarian, all they really eat is fish.
Yep.
Which I know every other Youper who's watching this is like,
Yes.
and what's the big deal?
But we hardly eat fish.
We do not eat a ton of fish.
It's like a couple times a month during Lent.
During
and
Lent,
that's it.
during Lent is when we eat some fish. Every now and then in the summer we'll have a couple of some fish. I think I've talked about it on here. I wish I liked fish, because in the UP, everyone's a pescatarian who we know. Like
you're kind of doing a disservice by not.
I really am. Like I
Yeah. And there's a couple that like have specific medical needs, and then I would be concerned like diabetic or.
I'd be less so about that. I mean, that one, the diet one, I was like, okay, well.
Well, and there's a few that specifically ask for a family that already has experience with.
Yeah.
And it's like, we don't. Like, they're medically
Well,
trained.
I mean, and the sad part is if they're having an emergency with those conditions, I am. Oh, that might have been too much.
If they're having an emergency, there's medical
I'm
care
good to
is too
go.
far away.
Yeah. I mean, there is that.
I mean, true emergent medical care is 14 to 16, 20
Almost
miles
20
away.
miles away, 20 some odd miles.
For a true emergency, which is problematic in its own right.
That can be tricky. That can be tricky.
And you are talking that you're going to have to travel a bit more for work, and so it would be on me if
Yep.
there was a medical issue, or even just maintenance, medical maintenance. So that is, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, no, that's not.
Which I feel is bad because we're in a better place to deal with that than many of the homeschool or the exchange families. Because of my background, because of my understanding with medicine. Well, maybe we're still good.
Give it a minute.
Maybe we'll give it a minute. Don't breathe on the fire.
So I mean, I would like. I don't know. I'd be reluctant, and there's a couple that are like autism spectrum that would like somebody with experience with that particular.
Yeah. I added too much too quick. Now we're smoking out the mosquitoes, which is fine.
That's okay. I don't mind smoking.
Well, you can
out
smoke out the
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes.
So yeah, I don't know. You might have to cut this into 2 videos just to talk about the exchange student with the second video.
We'll just run it. We're up to 50 minutes here, so
But
maybe we should cut it. We'll see.
yeah, I could turn it into 2 videos
We could.
because you're still talking about the exchange student. And I don't know. There is a part of me that's like, yeah, why not? Just do it again. It wasn't that.
It was a good. I mean, the lady who runs the exchange program, very caring, very knowledgeable, very supportive. I have to admit, if we had even the smallest little hiccup, she was willing to jump in and be the bad guy, where we could still be the cool exchange parent, and she'd be the. What'd she even say? She gave herself a title.
I don't remember.
It was a pretty wicked title. I'm like, oh my god.
Basically, the evil stepmother.
Either
right?
stepmother, yeah, it's essentially that.
Dictator.
Dictator. It was something. I don't remember what
I
it
don't
was.
remember,
but now I lost my train of thought where I was going with that.
She was very supportive.
She was very supportive. Yeah, it's gone. I forgot what we were talking about just a second ago when it came to exchange students and whatnot. Um, oh, I remember now. Yeah, she just before like we're just getting. I mean, we're getting ready. I think we had a month left. We had a meeting with her.
Oh, I think it was weeks left.
Weeks left. We have a meeting. It might have been the farewell party.
I think it was the farewell party.
And we're sitting down at this house. I mean, it's a very somber, sad time. Everyone's crying.
Everybody's happy too. Like,
Everyone's
there was
happy.
Water
there,
fights.
there was. I mean, they were having a good time, but they knew that this was now terminal. They were
Well, some of them I think were going home like the next day.
the
or a
next
couple of
day,
days later.
because you can only get like instead of being a month extra, you can only get like
A max of
2 weeks extra, and some of them you got to pay extra, and some of them couldn't afford it. And she looks at us and she's like, "Well, just so you know, you guys had the unicorn. We've never had a student so good, and so." I mean, she even did offer to write a letter of recommendation to the Department of State if our exchange student wanted to come back. And one of their homeschool families told us like she doesn't do that. Like that's not something she just blanket offers to the exchange students. Not that she has any problems with them, of course. It's just
It's a lot for her to deal with.
well, and I think the fact that she does it sparingly when they do get it means more. Like I think if she did one like 2 or 3 a year, they'd be well, it's just she's just trying to be nice. Where because she's more sparingly, like yeah, that actually holds weight. Now, granted,
Well, then we were told there were 2 unicorns that year.
was there 2? I didn't hear about the second. What was the second? Well, I'm going to talk about that later. What was the second?
Where the party was.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That was.
That was a weird one. That was.
But that was interesting because that same person had accepted 2 students, and one of them totally didn't work out for her.
Yeah, it was just a mess, a hot mess.
So there were 2 students that we had to switch locations.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we heard the horror stories. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, so
it's not like we went in with blinders. Like we heard.
And interestingly enough, like we heard the horror stories, and like honestly, even the like, I don't know. I guess even though there were definite problems with some of the other families, I think it was still a very rewarding experience for almost everyone. Like I think almost all of them would have said that it was a rewarding experience.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. It was a good experience all around, even the ones that, again, it was kind of a substandard situation. I think everyone had a good experience. But yeah, just there's just a certain anxiety that comes on. And of course, we can be vain and say, well, it's because of us that he was the unicorn. But
I would say it was a combination of he was a great student and we did our best to accommodate.
Yeah, I don't know which fallacy it is when we say we're just that good. I'm sure if I looked up in my fallacy book, I could find
I
a
would
couple.
probably say it's definitely a fallacy.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is. I'd have to look up which when you're just that good.
Straw?
I don't think straw man fallacy. Confirmation bias, maybe. The confirmation fallacy.
Maybe.
Like, because he was a unicorn, we must be great. But regardless, I have to admit, that was not her best sales pitch ever, was to say that we had the unicorns. Like, oh shit, well, had she not said that, I think I might have actually pushed us this summer to find another one. Because now I'm all nervous, like, oh my god, if we found a unicorn, like...
But, I mean, the good thing is, if it didn't work out, you have, like...
Well, you are in the driver's seat, which is
Yeah,
a lot of the
it's-
exchange families, there was a
it's-
couple of them that didn't know that you are in...
Yeah. And it's 2 weeks. If it's not working out, you have 2 weeks, you know...
You have technically have longer than that, if it's...
No, what I mean is, like, at most, if it's not working out, they
can
will
replace in
find
2
them.
weeks, yeah.
They will replace within 2 weeks, and if they can't be replaced, they send them home.
Yeah, they ship them. Which was told, but you hear some of the horror stories. It's like, why didn't you?
Yeah, why didn't you?
Why didn't you push that? Because you were talking these.
Well, and I think we look at it differently. A lot of the people who take exchange students either have no kids or their kids are quite a bit older and only older kids. Um, but we have so many kids that I don't think it would be a question. I think if we were having that many problems and it was that disruptive to our home, it would be we can't do this one.
Well, I think because we have so many kids, we nipped them because there were some issues that came up, but they were nipped very quickly, very early on. Like, no, you cannot stay up till 2 a.m. with your friends. If you say you're going to be home at 11, at 11:59, I better see headlights pulling down my
I
driveway.
mean, 10:50.
10:51. You know what?
The one
Yeah,
time,
10:50. There was once he said he's home at 11, and 11:30 rolled around, and I don't think we let him out of the house for another
probably at least
at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Well, I mean, we didn't stop him from doing practices.
No,
and stuff
no,
like
no.
that.
But it was the extracurricular friends stuff that.
No. And honestly, like after that, if there was something going on, like a bad roads or something, and he was going to be late, it was a
Oh,
okay.
I mean, yeah. If there was a legit, even if he called at, you know, it's 10:45 to let us know, hey, here's X, Y, or Z. Do I really have to be home at 11? Well, yes, no, maybe so. That is one thing, though, and I will give our local school, the student body was so supportive to the exchange students. I mean, that was almost amazing. We had, now granted, it's a small school. I think K through 12 has 90 some odd students.
300
Was it K through 12, 300 students? I swear to you that a third of the high school showed up to say goodbye to all the exchange students. Like,
Yeah.
it was.
Well, and everybody from K on up knew our exchange.
Oh yeah, we still have people who come up to you. Did you have so and so? Oh yeah, we had so and so. Oh, my son rode the bus. Oh, okay. Did he have a class with our exchange student? No, he's in second grade.
Yeah.
But he just would, like, he'd give the Amazonian a high five. Okay, we can't say that word. But.
Yeah.
So I will give that. That was one of the things I was nervous about because of how rural and small this school was.
Oh, they were super welcoming. I would say that the administration was the only part of it
Administration sucked.
that was not welcoming, but
That was not.
but like everybody else, and the teachers were good. With him,
Yeah, no, that was my biggest fear is coming here. That our exchange student was going to face a lot of discrimination.
and I don't think any really.
The only discrimination he had was a basketball team who said some choice words, and
But
the
I don't
refs.
think they meant
I don't know. I
it.
don't think they did either. But it was definitely one of those, like,
Not appropriate.
not appropriate. I heard it. And I
But
was like,
not meant viciously.
no, not at all. And to be completely honest, the refs and coach quickly pulled the other coach aside and had a little heart to heart with them, and it stopped in its tracks. And it wasn't like an argumentative yelling, hollering. It was just so you know, that's
That's not cool.
that's not just on the line. That's not okay. Let's not do that. And to the coach's credit, I mean, I heard it, and I was like, I didn't hear just what I heard, did I? Like, no, that could not have been said. Yep, that was said, and even I don't know if I told you, the coach afterwards came up to me and was talking to me about it. Or it was a couple days. It was like a week later. I was coming in for practice, and he pulled me aside. He said, "Just so you know, we don't put up with that around here. We might be small, but." I was like, well, honestly, I told our exchange student about it. He's like, oh, I didn't even hear it. I didn't even notice it. Like,
That's kind of cool though. Like,
yeah, it was very cool. Like, for such a small, rural, podunk school where, I mean, literally half the school is comprised of 4 families and that have been here for 500
Not quite
years.
that.
Yeah,
But
it's,
yes, it's
you know,
and it's very much everybody knows every single person and everything about them, pretty much.
I mean, the most diverse thing about this school is about 25% of them are Italian. You know, so that
Seriously.
yeah, that's that's the most diverse this school has. So that was my biggest fear actually when he.
But he was so welcomed in, and actually, like he came late. He couldn't get here, and he wanted to join football. And we actually went before he got here and talked to the football coach. And like, I don't even like we might have said his name once or twice in passing, but man, the football coach knew exactly who he was when we walked on the field the first day.
And the team alone
they
pulled him
him.
in. He was even though he'd shown up weeks. I mean, well, truthfully, had he wanted to actually be a part of the team, he should have showed up a month earlier.
And it was hard because like their team photo was already taken.
Yeah. Which I still want to find if we can Photoshop him in real quick. Just like,
but
we'll talk to our
yeah,
photographer friends and get the photo and just Photoshop him in.
have her Photoshop her picture of him in his uniform and they.
Yep.
So, yeah, he did amazing, and they were good to him.
They were. I again, it was the administration that.
And
was,
I think he had a great experience. He made it on homecoming court.
Yep.
So.
Yeah,
I mean, the kids in the school, like they definitely took to him. They took him in.
Now, I mean, mind you, he was a pain in the ass to the administration because they actually had words that they would not accept more than 2 exchange students the next year. And I kind of got the feeling that if we want to get another one, we're going to have to go to the board directly.
Maybe, but I know that I think we can say Melissa. She would go to the board and fight for it for us. And I don't think it would be a ton of us.
Well, she said as much that she would.
I don't think we'd have to do much.
Especially after I gave her the tip on how to game the system a little bit. Because, I've talked about my brain works differently. So I find unique solutions for complex problems. So, but yeah, no,
it's definitely still there. I don't think, like, even if we don't take one this year, I don't think that means that we'll never take another exchange student.
No, I think an exchange student is in our future, which is just weird to say. I mean, we're definitely in a better spot now than we were when we took our first one.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and it shocks me, like, how many people, like, did not know that he was our exchange student because, like, they know us, they know how big our family is, and they're like, wait, you, really? He was your, really?
Yeah, we took on an exchange student? Yes, we did.
You already had 6 kids and you took on an exchange student?
Six kids, and so I would like to take another one here in the future, but I don't know how near future or far future or...
Yeah, whenever.
Yeah. Again, once you get a feeling, I suppose.
Yeah. I've been so busy though. It's not like I've even read a single bio in the last month. Like,
I'm sure August 1 you'll read one and
maybe. I don't know though. I do kind of like the idea of finding out sooner because then you do have more time to get to know them.
Get to know them. That was, I mean, what we had one Zoom call. And then we had like a handful of emails back and forth, but they were very sporadic because, he was trying to finish up his school year.
Well, and he was getting everybody was emailing him, so all 4 of the kids were emailing. Plus, we emailed him to connect, and so it wasn't like that was a lot to answer.
that was a lot to answer, and of course at that point, written language for him was not Sveller.
Oh, he did well, but yeah, it was hard.
It was not like he could just get on and quickly fire off an email in 10 minutes. I think it took him a little.
Yeah. So having more time to
we
get to
did
know
confirm with him that he is fine with us taking another exchange student.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Did he confirm that?
He did. He just says that he's glad he was our first.
He'll always be
the first. But he did confirm that if you do find another, if mom gets another feeling, then it's fine. You can have another one. He approved of that. So we talked about that in his video.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we did. That was fine. That was fine. We could do another. So we're gonna try it. Oh yes, nice.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
we'll see what happens. Again, not out of the realm possibility. I do wish my expat Uper brother. I like that term. I'm going to use that.
I don't think you explained why though. You just said my expat Uber brother, and then you started.
Oh,
Talking
did I?
about
So my,
exchange.
because this thing runs rampant like the plague. I can't think. I don't think I used that word in this video.
I
have to
don't think
bleep
you
that
should
out.
use
No.
it.
My brother and his wife, my sister-in-law, decided they're going to take an exchange student. Power to them. I do appreciate the program. I love it in all aspects. It's good for the exchange student. It's good for your family. It is just an all-round an amazing experience. I mean, just alone being able to like share what it's like to be an American, and then have them share back what it's like to be, you know, their nationality back. But yes, my brother is taking a kid from Italy.
I believe it's illegal.
Italy, yeah. He is apparently gung ho soccer. I did talk
That's
to my
pretty standard for Europe.
for Europe, yep. So I think he's actually going to stay a little bit longer because he wants to try American soccer really bad.
Yeah, he might not be allowed even though with the State Department.
But they're going through a different.
But it's the State Department that's
yeah.
setting that guideline.
Yeah, I don't know. He was pretty sure through whatever program he's going through. I have the initials, but it's nowhere near. It's like BCSI or something.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, so good power to my brother. I can't wait to get the updates. There's definitely a part of me that believes somewhere around October, before the big ice hits, we surprise the shit out of them by showing them what a big family looks like in the U.S.
And maybe invite them to meet us halfway. Because
That's
really
we could do
drive all
that
the
too.
way down.
No, that'd be. And I have a hunch our kids might even want to try to.
But your brother didn't meet ours, did he? No. No. Your dad's the only one in your family that met him.
I want to say my brother did.
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna have to ask my brother if he ever did.
I don't think you met him.
Well, I think our kids did get kind of excited when they found there was going to be another exchange student in the family, and I do believe they're going to try and, like, it'd be very easy to convince them to, well, email them, text them,
Oh, yeah, maybe.
just have a
But
conversation.
it might be
with them.
overwhelming.
I think that'll be super overwhelming. That's what you do with these programs, is make it super overwhelming.
Yeah, I think your dad's the only one that really met him.
My oldest sister did.
When? She didn't come up and meet him.
I thought for
She
sure.
talked to him on the phone a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, my sister met him.
Yep.
And my parents.
Your parents
and your
did,
dad.
obviously. My dad did.
I think that's it.
I'm gonna have to pull the.
Yeah, I don't.
I thought my sister and my brother did.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. And that might have been a near miss. Like, they were coming up the week after he left, because they do their trip in that first part of June.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they didn't have the opportunity.
Pull the audience there on that one. So, but we like to travel more than my family does, and meet up with people for what do they call those, cultural experiences. It's a homeschooling thing, not a criticism of my family too much.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Although my godparents being in Italy, if we took an Italian exchange student, I think I would want it to be my god brother's kid.
Get talking.
So he really desperately wants to come to the States, my god brother.
Your god brother?
Yep. Which would be totally cool. I know my parents would love to see him. It's been 40 years almost.
Right.
But
Time will tell.
But travel does not happen easy for some countries.
Well, better than the Russian kids we've been seeing.
We'll see. I am tempted to start looking, but I also know that it's always tempting to.
Well, it's a huge commitment, as we kind of talked about. We're not going to tap out easily. Like if something does happen or whatnot, it's not going to be like, well, sorry.
No.
So that is a commitment we'd have to make, and we would make. But anyway, we're getting long even for a two-parter here.
Yeah.
We're an hour and 9 minutes.
Hour and 9
So we're
minutes.
definitely probably going to split this one. You got a good point there. Editing Uper Farmer, we've got to do some work to make this kind of more seamless.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks for that. Well, folks, the fire's dying down. I threw my last little bit of wood pellets, and drinks are gone. Cigar is pretty much gone. So,
I'd throw that one away.
oh, this one's delicious. Though. Those Blackbirds are my favorite cigar. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. Yeah. So anyway, folks, any last minute concluders?
No, not really. If you're thinking about an exchange student, go ahead and take one.
Give us a contact. We don't have a lot of followers, but if it's something you're interested in, drop a comment. I never say that in these videos, so you know I'm serious. Yeah, it's interesting. It is worth it. It's not what you expect, but more than you expected, shall I say? I don't know how else to put that.
It's probably not what you expect, but better than what you anticipate.
Not what you expect, but different than you anticipated.
No, I think better.
Better. I think we met a few homeschool or exchange parents who they had some pretty big expectations.
All right. Well, okay, so you have to be realistic.
Yeah,
You're still dealing with a teenager.
that is the big takeaway. But as my sister told me when I say we were on the fence, but you had already decided, and I was just trying to come to terms with it. They don't send just anyone. It is the best of their country, and it is the application process, the acceptance process. You have to be above average.
And honestly, the one thing that really the thing that we were the most reluctant to take on was having to drive two vehicles everywhere.
Yeah.
And we have to do that anyway.
There's some, I don't know if that's irony, coincidence, or,
right.
or what that is, but we'll that's for another video.
Regardless.
Irregardless. All right. On that note, folks, hope you enjoyed this this very rambling two-part video, because yeah, it's definitely going to be a two-parter. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions. Yeah, consider it. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next one again.